Go.
Space, the final frontier. Ever since man has looked at the nighttime sky, space has captured his imagination. Since the 1960s, America has been working on our manned space program and has put men into space. Since that time, we've had 14 deaths in space. 14 of our best and brightest, wasted on a program that has yet to produce something worthwhile in the last 10 years. It's time we start this decade off right by significantly reducing NASA's space program. Resolved that the United States federal government significantly reduce the NASA space program. NASA was established in 1958 with its primary goal to beat the Soviets to put a man on the moon. In 1957, Sputnik, the first satellite launched by the Soviets, kicked off the space race. NASA's efforts culminated in the Apollo 11 manned moon landing. Since that time, NASA's major project has been the International Space Station, or ISS. Originally, it was designed to perform science experiments in space. The ISS has turned into one colossal waste of time and money. Recently, NASA has had some major activity. Most significantly, President Obama, seeing the rampant wastefulness and uselessness of the space program, has shuttered the NASA Space Shuttle and manned space program. As I have stated before, NASA has yet to produce something in the last 10 years. Our opponents may say that we need to keep NASA because of the technology that it gives us. I can't deny it. It's 100% true that NASA has given us amazing inventions like transistors, Velcro, and the all-important satellite TV. But these discoveries were made during the golden age of spaceflight, 50 years ago. Right now, the money that we are pouring fruitlessly into NASA could be used to better our nation's schools, reduce our enormous debt, or be used to actually research technology that could help us solve problems on Earth. NASA's budget has kept steady at about 0.5% of our national budget, or about $19,123 million, even though no more shuttles are scheduled to launch past this year. Where's our money going? The negative may argue that NASA provides services that we as a country cannot live without. Services such as weather satellites, climate modeling, monitoring, and satellite repair. The fact is, many of these programs are essential to our everyday lives. However, they do not have to be done by a bloated bureaucratic mess that NASA has become. Instead, the affirmative suggests that NASA pare down its budget so that it can fulfill roles it needs to. In order for NASA to perform its duties, it needs to be smaller and more precise. The best way to optimize NASA is to cut away the parts that aren't working, people who are not doing their jobs, or the parts of NASA that just aren't producing results. It's important to note that ever since America was founded, it's been run by capitalism. From our founding fathers to today, capitalism has driven our economy and livelihoods. Every time that a large, government-run institution is established, it is almost always replaced by capitalism, or it's merely set up as a regulatory body. For example, First Bank of the United States, set up during Andrew Jackson's term. Originally, it was set up as the only place for the government to store funds. But as time went on, the people of America realized that this was totally unacceptable and that the only way for them to create their own futures was to give in to capitalism. NASA is the equivalent of the First Bank of the United States for the USA in the space race. It needs to be put into a more regulatory and safety role to stop stifling private companies such as Virgin Galactic, X-Corp, or Scaled Composites. This is the direction that the new NASA has to take: safety oversight. As you can see, NASA needs to be brought under control. Rampant spending without any payoff, stifling a whole new sector of the economy, and unnecessary programs combine to form a recipe for economic stagnation. This cannot happen. Space can be conquered, but not by NASA. Thank you, and vote for